Hey! Hey everybody, welcome. This is Ineisha. This is Ineisha with Ignited Intuition. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, we are here today. I am doing a pick a pile. I'm doing 3 piles today, and we're doing with some pre-selected, shuffled up oracle cards and tarot decks here. So if you already feel like you know what pile you want to choose, just based on the title of the video, based on what you're seeing, you can go ahead and skip this intro and go ahead and choose your pile and get to that timestamp that's listed in the comments as well as the description for the video. But if you want to stay here and listen to me talk a little bit, well, hello. Like I said, this is Ineisha, Ignited Intuition. Welcome. You know, this channel is for you. It's for you to fire yourselves up. It's for you to come into your senses, to be able to, grow your inner trust, your inner knowing, so that you can feel free, here on this earthly plane to explore, to experience your life, in as many moments as you can stay present with, right? So that you can feel free. So I want you to choose your reading out of these piles, and whatever resonates for you, be open to receiving what is for you and leaving behind what isn't, leave it behind for another time, for another person that's coming across this reading just like you are. Basically, this reading today is going to be about your inner judge, and we're going to ask a couple of questions to be able to see who your judge is and how they're showing up in your life, showing how the judge helps you, how the judge hinders you, and then some advice. Of course, we can't leave you without some advice for how you can work with your judge. And this reading was inspired by some work that I've been doing with one of my coaches. Shout out to Anna, and the system that she guides us through. She uses a couple of different modalities, but this is one of the apps that she uses. It's called the PQ app. And we've been dealing with our, saboteurs, basically the things inside of us that sabotage us from, receiving the things we want in life, and, sometimes doing things overboard. You can go ahead and choose your pile. I'll let you know right now that this deck is the Saucerobito Tarot, and this is the Japanese word for wanderers. There's a Japanese origin name of the deck. Then you have pile 2 here with Joie de Vivre, which is French. So we have a French origin inspired deck here for pile 2. And then this deck here, pile 3, is called the True Black Tarot. And based on what I'm seeing, its origins is of universal origins. So go ahead and pick your pile, and then we will get to your messages and your timestamp. All right, I'll see you in your pile. Okay, welcome to your pile. Pile 1, you chosen the Saucerobito Tarot. I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side just so I could get started with the messages from the pre-shuffled oracle decks. So this is going to be about what your inner judge is wanting to share with you. We're going to see what your inner judge looks like with the pre-shuffled oracle cards here, their mannerisms. And then with the tarot, we're going to see how your inner judge is helping you or hindering you. And of course, some advice. We can't leave you without that advice, so that you know how you can work with your judge. Some of the words that I got just looking at your pile was eagle, and then a landing, and momentum. So I'm curious about if that will show up. All right, so we're gonna take a look at your cards here. This deck is supposed to be interpreted just by what you see from the card. See a lot of hands. You see even a hand reaching into someone's the region of their head, right? Their brain, their head space, through their throat canal even, it looks like. So I'm thinking like throat chakra, speaking. I'm hearing like the eagle screech now. You have the squirrel spirit here. It says believe in yourself. You have the queen archetype. Its light attributes radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Shadow attributes, becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling and demanding. Okay, and then you have hydrate. And you have triumph of lies. Okay, I want to look at these like this. Okay, my bad. I'm being very particular with these cards, and I keep fixing them and wanting to be in a certain place. So your judge could be very particular, right? It's so funny that my hands kept moving the cards because I was talking about the many hands here first. So there might be, your judge is definitely, your inner judge is assertive, right? I sense your inner judge is definitely always assertive, always making sure, that your voice is being heard, right? You're voicing your opinions. Your judge is always talking about like, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Let's make sure that that is true. You know, your inner judge is coming from a place of believing that it has your best interest in mind. You know, I'm sensing this almost like feeling of your judge continuously needing to find itself being hydrated, because I was seeing parched, right? Like your parched throat, again with that throat chakra energy, that that communication. I feel like your inner judges definitely shows up as someone who's talkative, very talkative. They're very talkative. They are always considering many different options, many different scenarios. I think like an uncovering. When I keep looking at the hands, now I'm seeing the hands like digging in the dirt, you know, and it's like the squirrel energy, right? They're always putting their little nuts and seeds in the ground and hiding their food, their nourishment, right? Their sense of security underground. But with these hands, I'm seeing sometimes that your judge seems to be grasping. It's always grasping for something. And so that's that sense of being parched, right? That being not being quenched in a sense. And so it makes me think of Cups energy from the tarot. So at times, although your judge wants what's best for you, right, in a sense of, you know, a true sense of living. Like this is reminding me of like your inner. This is telling me that your inner judge is like full of leadership and honor, that kind of vibe. But then finding yourself maybe sometimes too much in that position that you forget to actually take a sip, that you forget to take notice of your emotional realm, like your inner world, your inner realm. And now that I say that, I could even see here in this card, this person here seems to be reaching for this like person that to me seems like they're satiated and quenched, because you have this like bluish energy and this purple energy, and it's reminding me of the throat chakra, and now the third eye chakra coming in here. And this person here is looking like they're part of this tree, right? This tree that grows underground, right? Remember I was talking about this grasping energy of the, well, I don't know if I got to even finish my thought, but with the hands, it was this grasping energy of always trying to take, but right, like you're always working, always trying to make sense of things, always trying to keep you in a laser focus, right? Believing in yourself, asserting yourself, speaking up for yourself, right? But then leaving you parched, right? Because the tree is looking a little dull, a little dry, a little brittle, and this this person with their eyes closed, still reaching for this, like I said, this kind of satiated energy, knowing that there's more. So yeah, in a way, like I said, the judge is not always a bad person. Our inner judge is not a bad person, but in this case, I almost feel like the judge leaves you, your judge leaves you exhausted. It's like you're doing so much. I was seeing somebody sweating, and so instead of you being quenched from the inside, you're actually letting go of your fluids by sweating, because you're exerting a lot of energy. And so it leaves you dry on the inside. And then there's this, instead of an oasis, instead of a waterfall, or yeah, like an oasis, you find yourself, instead of languishing in the ability to have that within your desert, instead you then find yourself lost in the desert without your water source, without that oasis. Okay, so I love that you guys are the first reading, because I was really curious about how this was gonna go, and I just want to say I did start the other day to try to do this reading, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing this reading right now. So it's been a couple of days, and I just have to say this is not turning out the way that I thought, but that's okay. It doesn't matter what I think. It's what I can see from the cards, right? So I don't know. I love this so far. I'm gonna make sure I'm covering what I essentially wanted for this. Who's your judge and how do they show up? Yeah, how do they show up? Sometimes a little exhausted, probably the energy could seem frantic at times, because you're continuously trying to get to the bottom of things. And it's funny because, like, we'll never get to the bottom of things because it's a never ending well. It's like once you uncover something, you're going to discover that there's still yet more to uncover. It's like the depths of the ocean here for you. As humans, it's going to be very rare that maybe you or anyone in your circle of community would have gotten to the bottom of the ocean. Just saying. If it happens, shoot, let me know. But just saying, you know what I mean? And the mannerisms, yeah. Okay, it's like I almost felt like the judge would be more haughty, but your judge is not so haughty. It just seems very focused, and sometimes maybe hyper focused. So okay, I this is beautiful. Let's keep going. All right, so we're going to ask the Sao Sorbito Tarot here. Like, why is the judge here? Why is your judge here? How is your judge essentially helping you, and how is your judge hindering you? That's what we're about to find out. All right, so how is pile one's judge helping them? You have the Nine of Cups. You have the Nine of Cups. Okay. I already like that. I wonder how many cards I'll pull for each. I haven't thought of that. I'm doing a lot of like talking, a lot of mellow talking to myself, a lot of pausing before I get to the next question for your deck. So I'm wondering if pausing is something that is vital and essential for you. Like really allowing yourself to like chill out for a little bit. So it's so funny because the words that I had written down for your pile, it was eagle, a landing, and momentum. So think about the eagle. You know, the eagle is not constantly flying in the sky. When it does, boy, is it grand, right? So you're freaking grand. So it's like knowing when to land and knowing when to take momentum, I think, for you. Okay. So this is how your inner judge helps you. Let's see how your inner judge hinders you. Yeah, 9 of Cups and 2 of Pentacles there. So how does your inner judge hinder you? Ooh. Okay, so you have the Page of Pentacles over here, and then I wanted to take this card. And your King of Cups. All right, I love that so far. Okay, I love it. So 9 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. We'll talk about how your judge is helping you. So your judge helps you because it keeps things flowing, right? It keeps things fresh in your body, in your system. It allows you to actually go towards the things that you want for yourself, right? It allows you not to get too stuck on a circumstance because you know what it is to balance, right? Or what it, if you don't feel like that is true, that is what it does. It's to help you feel like you can keep going on to the next thing and the next thing, right? And discovering the next truth for yourself and the next truth for yourself in a manner that comes from a place of, I actually care about this and I'm not just doing this just because, right? Just because I can or I should, but I'm actually doing it because it aligns with I can and I should, but I actually want to and I'd love to and I'd like to do this, right? I feel like it keeps you fresh. It keeps you on your toes, your inner judge, okay? It keeps you on your toes. Yeah, it keeps you light on your feet, like kind of airy. And I'm almost seeing like a butterfly feeling in the chest area, right? Because you have the highlight here. Oh no, I just realized her boobs are showing. Shoot, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this on freaking my channel if I don't put 18 plus. Wow. Okay, I'm going to put 18 plus on this reading because her boobs are showing. I didn't realize. So, like I was saying, keeps you light on your feet, keeps you airy. It keeps you with that butterfly like feeling in the chest that I was sensing. So it keeps you in a stage of metamorphosis, in a stage of, you know, constantly evolving, constantly moving in life, okay? Now, how your inner judge is hindering you, you have the Page of Pentacles and the King of Cups. And I feel like that same energy at times, if it's unchecked, you then start to find yourself pursuing way, like I said, like I was saying before, pursuing way too many different ideas that are coming up to you or different things that you're feeling, you know, that kind of like pull towards and that like, oh, I can't help but being pulled towards this and this and this, without letting you actually ground the energy because it's so fresh and so new and you keep like a squirrel, right? Like trying to hold sometimes too many of your seeds at once, or planting too many of your seeds at once and not actually letting there come them come into fruition and them actually get off the ground. That's why I was seeing all like this tree over here in this image, and like too many hands, you know, too many, your hands are moving way too quickly for there to be any kind of steadiness when it comes to that energy. Okay, so I want to see how your judge give you some advice on how you can get these two parts of yourself and the judge working for you in your favor. So let's see what comes out. All right, so we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have another chest, bared chest here. So now that I see another woman here with her bare chest, I'm thinking of feminine energy. So this energy might be of the go-getter, of the, you know, of the masculine, without letting the actual ideas percolate, right? Your judge is good for making quick decisions, but sometimes leaves you, you know, grasping for the fuel that's going to allow those ideas to actually simmer and be created into something. So then you have the Six of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles to end your reading here. Okay, see you later. No, I'm just kidding. So how does your I love it. Lighten up. Okay, lighten up, my friends. That's for me to crack a joke like this. I feel like, you know, Spirit is saying lighten up, pile one. Like loosen up, lighten up, get into the flow a little bit more, okay, here. So advice from Spirit: Wheel of Fortune, Six of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is Jupiter in Leo is the Six of Wands. Don't quote me, but this might be. And this is Jupiter here ruling this card here in the Ace of Pentacles. The advice is that definitely start taking yourself more lighthearted. Start enjoying your success as it is. Start enjoying your inner judge for how it helps you navigate and move through the world. And don't focus so much on its lack or its energy sometimes of feeling like frenetic and needing to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You know, telling you haven't done enough, telling you need to move on to this project or that project, telling you that you've got to keep pursuing something until all of its parts are shown to you, all of its lights are shown to you, when you find yourself then, you know, empty and void because you couldn't stop persevering. And like I go back to that perspiring, right? Like sweating, losing your juice from the inside. There's, with this Ace of Pentacles, it's like you're going to hit your mark. You're going to be fruitful. There's going to be nectar for you to, you know, fill yourself on, right? This nature, there's like circular nature here with the Six of Wands here, the Pentacle here, and the Wheel of Fortune here. I feel the advice is for you to start recognizing the cyclical and circular nature for yourself, like given to the cycles of when you're supposed to be pursuing or resting, or when you're supposed to be like being curious and then allowing percolation, or however you say that. But this is for you the advice of knowing that you're you know, as you expand, then you also contract, and knowing that doesn't diminish your accomplishments nor the seeds that are going to be given to you or left for you to find when you decide to move on to the next project, when you decide to pursue the next thing that you find, that you deem worthy. Queen. I'm just saying that because of the queen here. All right, pile 1, that is your reading. Thank you for letting me read for you. I so appreciate it. If you resonated with this pile, leave me a little crown down in the comments. I would so appreciate it. Like my video, subscribe to my channel. Let everybody know. You already know what's up. All right, my friends, you already know what's up. Help me out in any way you can, and I appreciate it anyway. Until we meet again, my friends, I'll see you. Okay, hello, pile 2. Thank you for being here. If you've chosen the Joie de Vivre Tarot deck or just pile 2, this is your reading for the inner judge. We're going to find out with the tarot some questions later. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tarot over here. But right now with the pre-shuffled oracle cards, we're going to see who your judge is, how they show up, and their mannerisms, my friends. Let's see. Oh, and before I go, let's see. There were some words that came up for you. It says, take it easy, declare, and then it said encircled and circular. I'm curious if encircled and circular are coming too from pile 1, because I did speak about circular towards the end. So this deck that I have here, it's the Soul Cards deck, and they don't have a meaning, so they're supposed to go on what you see from the cards. So it's a little, I'm like, oh damn, okay, we have a skeleton here, but this skeleton means business. Okay, that's what I'm sensing already. Then you have the chameleon spirit. It says act as if. Oh my goodness, I knew it. You see this card here? This is from the Archetypes Tarot deck, and it has like at least maybe 3 or 4 of these cards in the deck, and basically, it will highlight an archetype that it's pulled with, but you literally only have this card. I may or may not pull an archetype card. Let me just see how I feel. But you have this card here, and all it is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just count that again. 3, 3, 6, 7. An 8-sided symbol here, an 8-sided figure here. And then you have boundaries. Okay. And then you have atonement. Okay, I'm not going to pull an archetypes card because this is how it came out for you, my friends. So this is how we're going to read it for you. Okay. Okay, so the way your judge is coming out for me, I just took a pause just so I could hear myself. Your judge is definitely seems like a know-it-all. Like, you can find your judge in any circumstance or situation, and they will know how to talk their way out of it, act their way out of it. They know when to put up their walls, and then they also know when to take it easy and put on the charm. I'm seeing very much like your inner judge is very fluid in nature, very flexible in nature, because it goes through times of being very adamant in, presenting a certain way. And then at other times, it seems boundlessness, like this skeleton that has no flesh, no sinew, no, what am I thinking? Like fat or anything. It's just bare bones, and almost in a way that, at times this could be really positive, right? Because you're able to connect with a lot of different people, a lot of different situations, right? This sense of being able to move from crowd to crowd or topic to topic. But then I almost feel that your inner judge then it strips you from being, from like fleshing. Yes, there it is. Then, yeah, your inner judge then, strips you from like fleshing yourself out, right? It strips you from allowing your own ways of acting and thinking and perceiving in the world to exist. It's funny that there's no archetypes card, right? Because your inner judge doesn't allow you to like almost like create your life, your symbology of what actually is meaningful to you and what actually makes you you and makes you, you know, have opinions in the world, have feelings in the world. Seems very, very cultured, like very cultured in a way where your inner judge has made it so that you know a lot of different things so that you never find yourself without an ability to communicate or talk, right? Where you never find yourself stumbling for your words or in a place where there's awkward silence. Yeah, I almost feel like your inner judge like almost always has something to say, even if it's to your detriment, even if your inner judge then later criticizes, like, oh my goodness, I feel like your inner judge then later even sometimes criticizes you for the things that you've done and said, you know, based on their merit and based on their discernments. So with the eight, yeah, I'm going back to the eight-sided figure here. I'm thinking about the number eight. In some numerologies systems, the eight is associated with power, but the other part of the eight that I was seeing too was the infinity symbol on its side. So this ever changing, and so your judge, I think in a way like keeps you always changing and always morphing, but never in a play, but like almost it keeps you from actually having an identity of your own. And there's even this thought here that I'm seeing now. You know, I'm thinking about the swords card, and in the tarot, the swords are communication of the air element, speaking, things like that. And so also here, and thoughts, and also here, I feel like your inner judge at times is actually keeping you too bound to like real. I'm like seeing a fist, like too bound specifically to ways of perceiving yourself that are actually not helpful anymore, or you've grown out of it. Okay, so let's see with the tarot. We're gonna see why is your judge here. We're gonna see how your judge actually is helping you, and then we're gonna see how your judge is hindering you, and then we'll get some advice after that. So let's see, how is pile two's inner judge helping? So I heard don't think too much, because I was almost gonna skip the card. So you have the wheel, it's the wheel of fortune. Ooh, and then you have the sun card. Nice. Oh, I like that. So there's more cyclical and circular motions here, the wheel and the sun card. I wonder if you wanted to listen to pile one so far, pile two. There might be some messages in there that resonates, but that's just a recommendation. It's solely up to you. Let's see how your inner judge hinders you. You have the Emperor. And the King of Swords. It's so funny. I needed to see this card, and I was like, you know what? And the Ten of Wands. I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna pull the Ten of Wands too. All right, so how your inner judge helps you. Your inner judge helps you because it keeps you in an energy of feeling fresh, right? It doesn't allow you to feel stuck and stale, and it helps you move through the world with feeling a little bit of excitement. I also feel like your inner judge helps you by letting you see how you don't have to remain on just one thing, that you don't have to be one person, that you don't have to just be one specific personality trait, or you don't have to like one specific genre of music, or like one, those kind of vibes, like that you can constantly find yourself going to sleep with all of your ways of existing tucked into you, and wake up the next day and pull different completely ways of existing right out of you into the world, right? It helps you expand in a way that brings joy on, like, almost like a daily basis. I feel like on a daily basis it feels good to have your hand on your hips, right? And feel like, man, I'm taking on the world. There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. I feel like that's something really beautiful that your judge offers you, is this sense of drive and like motivation, almost like a gamble. I feel like your judge really loves the gamble of, what's today going to bring me? What kind of experience am I going to have today? Okay. Now, how your judge hinders you, you have the Emperor, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. And your judge puts way too much of a burden of too much on your shoulders, right? You have all of these knives over here in this person's back. And then you also have the Ten of Wands, which this little person here is having a hard time holding. You put a lot of responsibility on your person by needing to always be the one that, essentially is like a library, or someone that people always turn to for advice, or somebody that people always turn to know what the next step is and what the next structure is going to be like. There's an energy of feeling burnt out. I'm getting like the Aries energy from the Emperor card, of really getting burnt out by being stretched thin, by being too many places at too many times, or thinking of too many things and too many time I see my words are getting jumbled here. Yeah. So like, there's this tiring effect, but in a sense where, because you feel like you can't carry the load all the times, your judge then, instead of helps you, hinders you, right? It puts you in a place of then being critical towards yourself, because you can't be 100 things at one time, even though it's you can, and you really could. But it's gonna lead to you burning out. I'm thinking of Aries energy, like just that zodiac sign known as like being the first, being the one in charge, and knowing all the time. I almost feel like it takes away that fluidity from you, and it leaves you rigid, and it leaves you, bare boned, right? I'm seeing like an elderly person, with a hunched back, walking slowly. It leaves you turned outside of your typical vibrancy. So I'm going to see now some advice for how you can work with your inner judge here. Let's see what comes out. You have the Nine of Swords. Oh, I went to pull one card and you got the Two of Wands. So you have the Five of Coins and the Two of Wands. Interesting. Okay, 9 of Swords, 5 of Coins, and 2 of Wands. So for you, I think pile 2, your advice from Spirit is to, I think, take a little time here to wonder what the motivation of your inner judge is, because it has both sides have their good and bad, or positive and negative qualities. Like your light attributes of your judge, the way it helps you, and the other wonderful things I said, has its light and dark, but also the shadow attributes, and the things that don't seem so pleasant also have their light and dark aspects here. And I think the advice is for you to consider, where, trying to find like where the motivation is for you, because you want to be able to use your wisdom and your knowledge and your ability to have this kind of leadership, commanding presence, in the world. You want that to land well, and to know when to give and take, both to your outside world and influences, and both to your inner world and influences, right? And there's parts here of yourself that feel diminished of value, that feel anxious at times. And anxious might not be the word, but there's something here for you to uncover that is uncomfortable for you. And that's why you haven't really shed that light onto whatever it is. But it's like taking your time right here with the 2 of Wands and letting yourself discover. Yeah, it's almost like letting yourself discover this foundation that you're standing on, that might seem a little shaky and just a little off, you know, and kind of solidify that for yourself, so that you can use your inner judge, for your well-being and the way that you want to be in the world. Okay, so pile 2, that is your reading. Oh my God. I love this. I love this. If you resonated with this reading, go ahead in the comments and leave me a little skull. I would love to see that. And like my video, subscribe, share it with your people. You know what's up. That's the best way to help me out. I really appreciate it. I hope you loved your reading. And until we meet again, see you. Okay, hello, pile 3. If you chose the True Black Tarot, or just chose this deck because you wanted to, and this pile 3 because you wanted to, welcome to your reading. This is the Inner Judge. We're going to see, of course, with the tarot, some questions that we're going to answer later. But for now, with the pre-shuffled oracle, we're going to see who your judge is. We're going to see how do they show up, and we're going to see their mannerisms. Some words that I got for your deck, there was a lot of like in my face when I kept shuffling. There was like obvious cards being pulled. So I saw in your face, and so there's pay attention. And then I heard passion. So we're going to see. So this card here is a soul card, and it's to be interpreted by what you see. It doesn't have an actual meaning. So we have this soul card. Let me show it. Then we have the brown bear spirit. It says take time out. We have the visionary. The light attributes is capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And the shadow attributes is selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Much more. Okay, then you have receive healing. All right, and then you have alone in the world. I'm noticing the single digits. I didn't say anything about the card numbers in any of the other piles, pile 3. But for you, I noticed the 1 here, noticed the 6, and then I looked at the brown bear and it's number 9. So there's single digits here. Your judge might make you feel like a joner, a loner. Your inner judge might be someone who feels like a loner, someone that feels very isolated. Your judge might be, yeah, right away it's coming up. I'm like, who is your judge? How do they show up, their mannerisms? Your judge is like a loner. Your inner judge can be a loner in a sense of like, listen, I've got my own intuition, my own wisdom. I know what's up. I know what I need in each and every moment. I'm open to, maybe forces outside of myself that I believe in. Your inner judge is like super spiritual too, I feel like. It's funny because some of the other piles so far have been intellectual, and much this right away this energy is much different from the other 2 piles, pile 3. And your inner judge seems to have its foot, very much on one foot here on the earthly plane and another foot in the spiritual realm. And that's however you envision spirituality for you, right? Spirituality can come in many different ways. There aren't just one specific modality out there, or religion, or following, the things that you can be drawn towards when it comes to believing in something that's outside of yourself that you can't maybe see, hear, touch, feel, witness, whatever the case is. Your inner judge has that part of themselves. And so that makes your inner judge super wise. I almost feel very, very, so much wisdom with that brown bear spirit. And even the blossoming of this flower here in the third eye. And this like egg here. So I'm seeing this ability to like create, right? This ability to flesh something out. And in a way, I think that your inner judge is of the healing kind, right? Your inner judge allows you to, I think, be filled with a lot of compassion for the world and for yourself. Right? Funny because I said passion before. Yeah, okay, so I'm seeing the orange here, the orange chakra. So this motivation for harmony, for enjoyment. And the other, this other like flip side to this is, that very stark, like alone in the world with the number 6, because number 6 reminds me of, in the tree of life, number 6 is the sphere of Tifereth, which has to do with that heart space. And it also is that in-between sphere of the earthly realm and of the spiritual realms. And, you think of like the heart space, you think about like, wow, that's beautiful, that's loving, generous, joy. But then you have this card that says alone in the world. And so I feel like your inner judge at times can put you in a feeling, in a state of feeling a little too isolated, of feeling a little too alone, and then in a sense puts you in this loneliness energy. It puts you in a place where you wonder if you will ever have a sense of community or belonging. That's the kind of sense that I'm seeing. Like it's almost like you're the guru or you're the Buddha, but then who's your guru and who's your Buddha vibes. Like, you might be the one who can hold space for who holds space for you, right? And so I almost feel like your inner judge, as much as it has this very loving and giving, compassionate sense, then there's the shadow aspect of like, okay, I can allow that to flow through me from whatever like source is fueling this desire into the world. But then again, this sense of like, no one is going to give that sign that, you know, your judge might tell you no one is going to offer you that same kind of energetic resonance. Okay. Interesting. All right. So I'm going to see with the tarot, I want to see with the true black, why are they here? Like, how does your inner judge help you? And then how does your inner judge hinder you? And then we'll get some advice. Of course, I can't leave you without advice, but we are going to see, let me put these up here. How does your inner judge help you? Oh, goodness. Okay, that one for sure wants to come back. And so we have the 10 of Swords. Interesting. 10 of Swords is how it helps you. Okay. And Destiny. Destiny is... Oh my goodness. Is Destiny the Wheel of Fortune or is it its own card? Shoot. I hate when that happens. Okay, let me pull the other cards and then I will see. Okay. So let's see how your inner judge hinders you. Hinders you. We have the 3 of Pentacles. How does your inner judge hinder you? And we have the Page of Swords. All right, so give me a minute. I'll be right back to see what the Destiny card is. Okay, I'm back. So you have the Wheel of Fortune here with the Destiny card, and then you have the 10 of Swords for what helps you, and then what hinders you with your inner judge for pile 3 is the 3 of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Interesting that now that I've done all of the readings, the Wheel of Fortune has come out for all of the piles, but in different scenarios in different places. So I think that's pretty interesting to note. There's definitely something here overall in all of the energies that is pointing to a way that to let you know, that it's okay to be who you are, where you are, in whatever mannerism and way that you want to show up, because it's supposed to be, right? It's the fact that this is called Destiny and it's the Wheel of Fortune, and this deck it's called Destiny. It's like this is the way that we are, and we are supposed to be showing up, right? That cyclical nature, that sphere, that ever moving wheel that we're on that says, I'm human and I am here. Anyway, 10 of Pentacles, you have 10 and 10 here for how your inner judge, pile 2, helps you. And I think your inner judge helps you in this manner of allowing you to understand a reason why you experience these painful points and these painful moments of isolation at times, and these moments of feeling misunderstood, or, looking, to the inside, but from the outside. It's like your inner judge is here to kind of soften the blow for what is happening in your life and what is supposed to happen in your life and what will happen in your life. It's based on a lot of different like configurations I'm seeing for you, like because you have that 1 foot in the spiritual realm and 1 foot here in the earthly plane. There's so many different attributing factors. You have your own self here, right? Your own spirit, what you've fleshed out for who you are. But then you have this, the spirit itself channeling itself through you, right? Channeling specific energy through you. So you have these different plays of action on this mapping of, you. And I feel like the way your inner judge helps you is to help you through these harder times and alleviate. Understand the reason and the wisdom behind the pain, allowing you to receive its medicine, essentially. Now, over here on the other side, how your inner judge hinders you is it doesn't allow you to always be so willing to share yourself and your inner world and your thoughts with your community and with the spaces and the places that you find yourself in more of like a vulnerable way, in more of like a way that takes you out of that position of, you know, like I said, like the wise woman, the wise man, the Buddha, the guru vibe, you know, it doesn't allow you to essentially come down from that platform and share yourself from a more, you know, humanly place where the human is the one that says, I don't know. You know, your inner judge may be wise, but mixed with your human self and the other parts of yourself, there's also the aspect of this, I don't know. And so I feel like, yeah, the judge is hindering you in a way where it doesn't allow you to share of yourself more, share your ideas even to the collective and to the group outside of service or outside of the need to hold the space, essentially. So let's see then how your inner judge, let's give you some advice on working with your inner judge. For you, pile 3. Let's see. You can pile 3, the advice of pile 3 to work. Inner judge. Okay, so I heard to pull this one. So we have the Knight of Swords. So we have the teenager now of the sword suit. We have the kind of child over here with the swords. Advice. Okay, for sure, this one. We have Magician here. And then we have the Hanged Man. So I think the advice for you, pile 3, is this center point of the Magician showing here. It's showing me that you're here to make some kind of a appearance, right? Some kind of an appearance in the places and spaces that you find yourself in. And whether you find yourself in those places in a sense of waiting to exhale. And when I say waiting to exhale, I think of like exhaling as like when we're speaking, we're sharing, right? When you're in this, you can find yourself in a place of waiting to exhale, or you can find yourself in a place where you're speaking and sharing and trailblazing. It's giving you the permission. The advice here is to give yourself the permission to exist in both aspects of where you find yourself, whether you find yourself over here in the Hanged Man or you find yourself over here in the Knight of Swords energy, and allowing yourself to exist either way, knowing that your presence itself creates and manifests and essentially like changes the places you occupy and the people that you speak to. It's like your energy is meant to be effective and to affect others. Whether you find yourself in a place where you're keeping your wisdoms to yourself and waiting for the right chance to speak, or you're actually speaking and sharing that your insights and the things that are interesting you in the moment and that you feel like you need to share with the people around you. Yeah, the advice is like simple. I feel like I want to say so much more, but the advice is so much, it's just so simple here. I feel like I don't really have to tell you much other than to give you the permission. I feel like there's this sensation of giving yourself permission to be the one, right? You have this magician energy here. The one, like, give yourself that permission because you have this like this strength and this capability of holding so much energy like around you. And for some reason I'm seeing, like, the nine of wands over here in the brown bear spirit, and that nine of wands is like, always, I always think of like Rocky Balboa energy, where he's like, yo Adrian, and he's like getting boxed up. They're boxing and he's like, I got this. It's like, I don't know, there's such resilience in this pile 3. And I think your inner judge just needs that permission, I think, to allow themselves to be of both worlds in this existence and able to feel connected, on this like larger, grander scale, but then the permission to also be connected on a much more personal and maybe one-to-one, level, or like here, community. Smaller than the larger destiny at foot. Okay, so this is your reading, pile 3. All right, I love it. If you like this reading, if it was helpful, I'd love to see the icon of the world in the comments. It would totally help me out. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, share my video to your friends and everybody you know. That would totally help me out. I appreciate it either way. And until we meet again, pile 3, I'll see you.